Bonjour Philippe Hanset, comment ça va?
Bonjour Adlan, ça va bien ici au Tennessee. Merci de cette interview.
Maybe this is the time we should switch to English.
Oh yes, yes, it might be the right thing to do. Absolutely.
So tell us who is Anyroam and tell us about you, Philippe.
Yes, so our company, Anyroam LLC, is based in Knoxville, Tennessee. We are at the moment two guys. We came out of University of Tennessee where we are operating a service called Eduroam. It's a roaming service for the higher education. So out of the university, we created a company, a startup, because the service grew tremendously, and so we that's where we are at the moment.
Excellent. So why don't you tell us about Eduroam, what you provide today and explain us what you do.
Yes, so what, our claim of fame here at the University of Tennessee was that we had the largest Wi-Fi network back in 2000. So because of that, we ended up talking around the world about that. People were interested to know the challenges, and we met these Europeans who were doing a project called Eduroam. We really liked it, and we brought it back to the US as a test, and it really had a lot of success. So when the service grew, we ended up operating that on behalf of Internet 2, which is the research and education network in the US. We did that, and it grew even larger since Internet 2 has a pretty big Rolodex, as they say. And so really what Eduroam is about being able to use your school's authentication system anywhere you want to use it at participating institutions. So any institution that has Eduroam enabled, it's the name of the network really. Eduroam is the Wi-Fi SSID. If you see Eduroam somewhere, you open your device and you're instantly connected. And it uses security as well.
Okay, so tell us how widespread it is today.
So yeah, so I was mentioning that it grew out of Europe, where the European Union centrally funded the project. In Europe, it's pretty much in every country, and worldwide it is in 71 countries as of 2015. So in the US, for instance, we have 300 major research and education schools on it. So all the large research and education schools are pretty much on it, except for a few exceptions that are waiting to upgrade their Wi-Fi system. And then we are getting more and more small colleges joining because they really see the advantage of the service. You can roam between schools. Schools have a lot of exchange programs, whether it's regionally, national, or international. There is a lot of roaming going on. So enabling Wi-Fi roaming is really a huge advantage. You waste no time registering your device. You can instantly work. So it's really worldwide. If you can look at the map, it's really well spread. And the numbers that you see on the map, by the way. Some people reference locations, some people reference institutions. So you have to take those numbers with a grain of salt. But on average, we have probably more than 6,000 or 7,000 institutions around the world, which is quite large.
So how does it work? And is
No,
this
not
a
at all.
proprietary
Not at all.
system?
We use WPA2 Enterprise, so 802.1x. And of course, that technology uses Radius for the backend access technology. So really, you don't need to, if you have a school and you already use WPA2 Enterprise, there are very few things to do to enable Eduroam. There are few alterations on your Radius server to enable the switching, local users versus remote users. And then you have to enable an SSID, a network name, lowercase Eduroam on your institution and assign a network, but you can also assign it to the existing visitor network. So it's really straightforward, only standard technology, very little time. We have had a school, I think one school joined it literally in 30 minutes. The most challenging part of joining is actually to enable the proper ports in your firewalls. And the schools that have different services that manage the firewall and the Redis servers and the Wi-Fi have the most delayed time to join. Otherwise, it's really quick.
So I can certainly see the benefits for the students. What's the benefit for the university as an institution?
Okay, so when you join Eduroam, you have two aspects of Eduroam. Yeah? You have you connect your backend directory services, LDAP, Active Directory, SQL, whatever you use, using Radius. So you all of a sudden you enable all. Let's say you have a university with 30,000 entries in your backend directory services. You immediately enable 30,000 people to be able to travel the world. That's what we call the IDP part, the identity provider. So, as you mentioned, that's the advantage for the faculty, staff, and student. And then you have the SP side, which is the service provider side. To enable that, you basically turn the Eduroam SSID on your Wi-Fi network. That is a huge advantage because it is an instant provisioning system for your university. So this whole category of users that come often to your university, faculty, staff, students, can instantly join your network. You don't have to, you don't have to worry about them giving them special credentials, because you know their identity as well. Yes, if someone from Stanford comes to University of Tennessee, they have an @stanford.edu. Let's say you have a special program where you have a special relation with the university. You can literally assign specific privileged network to those users without having to do anything in the front end. You don't have to register them. You base it on the authentication. So extremely convenient for when you want to control your network. And also, I want to mention that.
Excellent.
So to be able to join Eduroam, you have to be from the research and education community. So it can be as large as the people at Microsoft Research. If it's purely research, can join Eduroam. But on the SP side of things, anyone can enable Eduroam. Your local coffee shop, if they decide to, can turn on Eduroam. There's an example actually of a coffee shop on Harvard Square that just turned on Eduroam, and I've heard a lot of success about that because you realize you go to your coffee shop and your device instantly joins the Wi-Fi. You don't have to do anything. So that's really the beauty of the system. And so I mentioned
that will apply to visitors with no credentials, right?
No, that does not apply to visitors with no credentials. That is one of the challenges of Eduroam at the moment, is that the only people that can use Eduroam, whether you're a coffee shop or you're a university, are the people that already have an entry in a directory services at a university or a college somewhere. By the way, I mentioned university and colleges, K through 12 as well. Huh? It's research and education. If an elementary school wants to join Eduroam, they can. But so to go back to your statement there, but we cannot welcome other users. And what we have seen in the US is that in a lot of universities, the majority of visitors are actually not from the research and education network. Even though Eduroam is extremely convenient for that whole category of users, we still have a category of users that is not represented, and university need to provision with other systems, a web-based form where you have to provide a cell phone and then they send you a text. I mean, there are all kinds of registration systems. So that's where we came up with an additional service that, it's not the name of the company, it's the name of the service, that we call Anyroam.
Okay, I understand now. So next, can you tell us about your future developments?
Yes, so what we realize is that Eduroam only provides credentials for faculty, staff, students. Yeah? So the people in directory services. There's still this huge category of other people that would be convenient to provide credentials to, so that they could enjoy the same services of Eduroam anywhere they would like to. So this would basically end up enabling universities to welcome other users. or as well on the same network. They can welcome them on the Eduroam network if they desire. And also coffee shop could do that. It would be literally a provider neutral credentials that hotspots could decide to welcome, so that people have an identity and can easily basically enjoy the same feature that Eduroam provides to other users.
And how do you make money out of all this? Is it membership fees or?
Correct. At the moment, every Eduroam school pays a small membership fee to Internet 2, and so Internet 2 pays us in return. And for Anyroam, our idea would be something like WhatsApp. We will make it free initially to see if there is interest, and then we'll charge a very minimal fee, a yearly minimal fee, just to support the employees of Anyroam, really.
Okay, great. I mean, this is fascinating. I really want to thank you, Philippe, for your insights and sharing with us your exciting story. I want to thank the audience for listening up, and see you at the next Wi-Fi 360 Prime interview. Merci,
Thank you very
Philippe.
much, Adler. Merci beaucoup pour cette interview.